Kingdom of Tonga is a small island developing state and is extremely vulnerable to the adverse impacts of climate change and disaster risk because of its geographical, geological, and socio-economic features. Tonga is classified as the second most at-risk country in the world in terms of its exposure and vulnerability to natural hazards and the unfolding effects of climate change.
Tonga, like most of the small island states in the Pacific, has become warmer over time, and it is very likely that it will continue. Therefore, there will be an increase in land, air, and sea surface temperatures in the 21st century. And this will further increase the heat stress, not only in Tonga but for the Pacific region. For Tonga, it's become drier in the dry season, causing drought, and there's more rain in the wet season, causing flooding. And with the drying trend, it is likely to continue in the coming decade. Tonga will face fewer but more intense tropical cyclones with associated higher storm surges. There will also be continued relative sea level rise along with storm surges and waves. This will exacerbate coastal flooding with the potential to increase saltwater intrusions.
Ko tai mi na hake mai ko ai tahi na me o si fonu mai pe ai roto fonu ai tahi pe ko fonu fare ko na makulalo u fe arwa ki pe tahi ai lo. Ko ne ako ke mo me ako ki ko ku ke afe pe ke te tahi lahi tahi a ha ngai fare ko makulalo.
Currently there is no direct legislation or policies and plans that directly relevant to climate change mobility. The issue has evolved in the past 20 to 30 years, and we have some level of relevance and protection under the Constitution, under the Land Act, the National Spatial Management Act, also the environment legislation, but those are a very minimum level of relevance, and I think throughout the last decade we have discovered that these are not enough. So what we've done is to develop other policies and plans with the intent to provide as much information and relevancy to climate change mobility. So we have in place the housing recovery policy. We also have some land use and national spatial planning instruments, the joint national action plan on disaster risk management, and also a draft land use policy. It still remains fragmented. It doesn't deal directly with climate change mobility, although I must say our focus is very much turning towards climate change mobility, having suffered a number of tropical cyclones and having to do ad hoc relocation and dealing with displacements on an ad hoc basis. Now that needs to be addressed.
Fia do lahe ke hiki popua. Ko lahi ko o mai me tahi. Tai pe he de na hu fia ma o anga na toru. Ngai fo tu pe pule anga ngai no fo anga mo hi. O hi ma hino e ngai kere kere.
E ia e wesia. E ko e fainga fo ke ni o sa ia pe ke kai me atai. O pau pe ke mau feinga. E fonga mo ui ko a e wa. Tu kuangi ai ma me atokoni me tai. O ko ai pe me ke nga ga vesta polo mo me ai. O tono pe ke fai ri u ki a ke mo ui ko a e wa. Me aku me te ngata ko te lata ko e funga e fonua. Pe fonua pa po pa manga.
Ma ko pa pa malai ka malo le mo ma tu me mo ti ni ko. Tu nga mo ui le ke be na tu la me akai mo tu he. Ma di mo sho ke lo ngai fa na ka ta ka ki ko ni ke sin no pe na tu la pe. Na to ki sin no pe na tu i tong. Te ki ma te wang ai pu anga ma to no pe to ko ta pa nga wa pe la ai fanga ki o tu mo tu i ki hang ko ma to lu ke po ma chen ta ku fanga ma to i tong ngai to ko te mi ho ko pe mi au ma wom ko ta.
So I think the main gap is really having a specific instrument that focuses our efforts, because if it becomes a national priority, capacity, resources, institutional strengthening will follow. So I think the work that the IOM has conducted with our migration policy is quite important. Collaboration is very key, very fundamental. So bringing our stakeholders together in a national dialogue is a positive approach. Our decisions made on the basis of sound advice, based on strong evidence, strong scientific basis. Whether it's scientific or whether it's community knowledge, these things should all be, and traditional knowledge I think is just as important.